am Lynne with Soft Squares. I'm working on this cute block of the month pattern called Jingle Bell Pines. It's by Coffee Clutch, which is a combination of two different designers, Kate Colleran and Chris Poor, and this is such a cute pattern. I do offer the pattern at the shop, softsquares.com, or you can get it kitted, so I could get you the pattern with the kit. If you do, it comes in this cute plastic container with all your fabric, and everything is labeled and identified. I've already started this series, so if you're just now catching on, go back and watch the first two, but let's get going on this one. So this is called the Winter Star that we're working on. Okay, and it told me to take a lot of fabrics from previous blocks. So I've only worked on 1 and 2, but I had some cuts, cut lots of pieces. So I only had to cut the blue. The only thing I had to cut new. The rest of it we're working with stuff we already had out. So we are going to do, the first thing it says is you take one of these and you're going to cut it in half on the diagonal and then again on the diagonal to get 4 quadrants of triangles. And you only do it with one. And then we're going to take those 4 and we're going to sew them onto this square that we just made. What we're doing is we're taking this, and we're going to center this. The easy way to do it is to eyeball it, especially when it's small like this. You can see how it's overlapping and they're about the same. But if you want to know exactly, what you do is you fold each one of these in half, and then make a little crease on that mark. And then you line up the 2 creases. So there's the 2 creases. I line them up. There they are. Then you pin it. Doesn't look as centered as the one I had a minute ago. So anyway, there's that. And I do recommend pinning this because they like to shift. And now we're sewing on the bias, and that really can get stretchy. So I'm going to pin it on 2 sides, make it easier. Make sure your foot, my arm is pulling down a little bit. Okay, now we're going to take the other 2 and do the same thing. Again, you can center it or you can fold it. I do recommend pinning and pinning away from where the foot is going to go. I got a little too close last time. This is going to get squared up, so if it doesn't match exactly, it is okay, but we have wiggle room. I don't know if you can see this. There's my stitch. It goes all the way from this corner to this corner, so it goes off of the white. You really want what's underneath to stay going the direction it's supposed to. And on this one, they're saying to press out. Don't go in, press out, and I'll show you the back. This is what it looks like, and here's what the back looks like. On to the next part. Now we're going to take our green squares and cut them in half. I'm going to do them at the same time. Okay, now I'm going to knock this off. I'm going to square this up. Okay, now there's this. So we're going to take this and we're going to put greens all the way around it. So same thing as we did before. We're going to center it on the block. So you can see right there that I've got it centered. You also have the center of the big block because you have this where the blue point is, and you can feel where it's at because it's thicker. And let's do 2 sides at a time. Press them out. And honestly, it's not going to let you press it in. It will not like that. And I just did something wrong, but I'm not going to fix it. But I just cut off my tips, my little points. So the way you really should do this is when you put these on, you should sew with this side up, and just above where the joint of the blue block is, which in this case it's over the white line here, and then it's right here. Right here, let's see if I can get a pen. Right here, just above where that intersection is, where these two white seams are, is where you need to stitch just past it, just on the right side of it. And I'm clearly on the inside of it. And I'm going to live with it. I'm going to do it right on these other two. Because I'm not a perfectionist. Sometimes. I mean, I make sure it looks good, but it's a little. And I don't have the energy to unpick it. That's really what it comes down to. If you do something and you can live with the mistake, then do it. But if it bugs you, you got to take it out, because you're always going to regret not dealing with it. So far I don't have regrets, but we're going to do it right way, where that is face down so that I can see my intersection and go on the right side of it by about a thread. And look at that. I have a point now, because I went right on the point. Could have even gone, I think it's perfect, but could have even gone like one thread to the right if I wanted to. I don't want to. I like it a lot. So let's do this again. And now I have 2 points that are perfect and 2 points that are not. And maybe these are bugging me now that I can see 2 good points. Those are off by quite a bit, aren't they? Okay, I'm leaving it. I am leaving it. Like this. Everything's folded out. We're going to knock off these little points. Make sure this is nice and straight. I tend to get a little off. Now I have a square. Next one we do is we're going to take the light blue. We are going to make 4 half square triangles, units. It says 2 whites and 2 blues. Maybe I don't need 4 blues. This is why sometimes going out doesn't make sense, and that's why I didn't do it. Okay, so we're going to do half square triangles, and you know me, I like to press them. Prefer that. Okay, after I do that, we're gonna make some. Okay, let's go back to this blue one. So we're supposed to cut right down the middle. Instead of where I stitched, it's supposed to just be your fold line or your draw line. So I am actually cutting on that. And then you want to have that. Now I cut this, and it is the exact size of, I can't use this, but I have other things I can make that of. So anyway, we're gonna, the last one. Okay, I'm gonna press them all open and press to the light blue side. That way they're all consistent. All right, okay. Now really what you want to do at this point is you want to square these guys up. And I have my favorite block template here. This one's a 4.5, which means I can pretty much do anything that size or smaller. And these look like finished. Block itself is like 2.5, 2.25. So I'm going to just square these up. Not a very square, half square triangle maker. I know this. It's more than just knocking the ends off. Now I have a pretty square. Now it says we're going to take a dark blue and a white, and we're going to offset it. And I'm looking at the picture, and it tells me to do it exactly like this. Now by pressing consistently to the light blue, these seams are actually going to nest. See how that works? Now it's telling me to basically do what we just did, where we're going to draw a line and then sew on both sides of the line. So then you need to draw a line. Maybe I actually will draw a line. And then you just sew on both sides of that. I can see enough of my line to be able to sew. Again, we're sewing on both sides of that line, quarter to quarter, but I also have my seam tape here on my machine. Slice it down the middle, press it open. We're going to have a whole bunch of these. And look how nicely those points come together. The reason I did my marking on the dark side is because it was a permanent pen. And you might see it through the white. You don't necessarily cut it off. If you cut exactly on it, there's a good chance you won't cut much of it, but there we go. A whole bunch of these. All look so nice. So let's press. It's actually telling me after we do this to split the seam and kind of twirl the middle. I know it will lay flatter doing that. Well, we're going to square them up to 2.5. Yep, pretty much what they are. Yep. I'm not square again because I just did my thing. That's 2.5 right there. So honestly, my blocks are just a little small. I want them to be straight. Okay, we're done with that. Now, it says to pop these open and twist them. I'm not going to, and if I decide to do it, I will do it after. Let's just see. So now it's telling me to do this. So we're going to actually make these. Although it looks like I'm supposed to have more blue squares. I might have picked them up and moved them to the side. So what's going to happen is it's going to look like this. Pretty cool, huh? And then there's a light blue square that goes in each corner. And I don't know if I cut it or not, but it would be, I think I'll just go ahead and cut it. So now we have these. So what's going to happen now is we're going to build. This goes here. We're going to build these blocks to making them pairs. And then we're going to make rows. So we're going to sew that together, this together, and that. So you can see it coming together. First, we'll do all of these. Hey, these are oversized, and I know that, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to sew my strips together, my rows. Just making sure that they all line up on one side. And now they nest because I pressed the big block, the center I pressed into it, and on the outer one I pressed out, and so they nest, which is what you want to have as often as you can. Remember those points. Well, that one looks better. Look at it taking shape. Isn't this fun? got a lot of stains in it. Okay, I am going to square this one up because it's obviously way off, or at least in a roundabout size. Yeah, I guess. I'm not worried about it being a little big, and I just don't want them. The actual size will happen later. This block doesn't look very square. It doesn't look very square. It needs a little blocking, but it's good for now. And when I get to the point where I'm going to insert it, I will double check its size, square it to everybody else, and get it more square. And it still has some starch on it, so I can still mess with it a little bit right now. I put a lot on there. Damn. All right. There we go with my imperfect block. I will see you in the next video. Soft square, soft in